This afternoon, many here in the U.S. are celebrating an American getting elevated to this powerful position for the first time, and some are now speculating about which direction he'll take the church next. Joining us this afternoon to talk more about this from a local perspective is Father James Misko with the Diocese of Austin. Father Misko, welcome and thanks for joining us and taking the time today.
You bet.
I'm sure that this is a very exciting day for you. Can you talk about where you were when you heard about the white smoke emanating from the Sistine Chapel?
Well, yeah, I was in a finance council meeting here for the diocese, and I had my laptop open, and of course I had it on the live feed at St. Peter's Square. And as soon as the white smoke started coming out, I had to stop the meeting and say, hey, folks, we have a new pope. So we immediately gathered around my laptop and we took it all in. It was just really a magnificent moment for us.
And share your reaction to finding out that the pope indeed is an American for the very first time in church history.
Well, we knew, Will, that he was one of the papabile. These are the cardinals that prognosticators thought could be the next pope. It was about 10 or 12 of them. And so we heard his name, but I didn't expect that. And when it happened, it was just overwhelming, of course, as a Catholic priest to see the new Holy Father come out and then to realize, wow, he's an American. This is quite a privilege for us. What an honor for us to be able to have the Holy Father be an American.
Of course, we're learning more about his history and service with the church. Are you familiar with some of his work and maybe how that could guide his leadership now?
Sure. Well, I don't know a whole lot about him, I have to say, but what I can say is something that comes to my mind, I think is very important, is that he's actually held two different roles in the church. One, his latest job was the director or the head of the Dicastery of Bishops. This is the group of people in the Vatican who helped the Holy Father to identify priests to become bishops around the world. A very administrative role, something deep in the workings of the Vatican. Prior to that, he was actually the bishop of a diocese in Peru. He's an Augustinian. He started his priesthood with a congregation called the Augustinians, so he's a religious. And so I think that's really important because he has experience both with his feet on the ground in a diocese with people and also at the Vatican with the important work of running the Universal Church.
Very interesting. I didn't think about that, about having those feet planted in those two different worlds within the church itself. So what do you think it will mean specifically to have someone from the U.S. now becoming the Pope for the first time? How notable do you think that is?
Well, I certainly think that he's an American, obviously, and so he's going to have a heart for his homeland. But he is very, very well traveled around the world, spent much of his time in South America. Of course, he's been in Rome, so I think he's actually going to be quite diverse with his understanding of Catholicism around the world. We're grateful in the Diocese of Austin, of course, because not only is he an American, but he was also the head of the Dicastery for Bishops, the group that helps the Pope select bishops. We are waiting on a new bishop here in the Diocese of Austin, so we're very hopeful that this is going to mean a quick period of time before we hear from him who our next bishop is going to be for this local church.
And are you hearing much today from other faithful here in the community about their reactions to this? What are they telling you?
Well, I haven't heard anything at this point. Of course, it just happened about, 4 hours ago.
Right.
What I can tell you is that we've experienced an overwhelming show of support from our faith community across religions when the Holy Father Pope Francis passed away, receiving condolence letters and condolence communications from our brothers and sisters across religions. And so I know that in the coming days we'll be receiving words of congratulations from them as well, which we'll be grateful for.
Of course. Well, Father James Misko, we appreciate you taking the time this afternoon, and thanks again for joining us.
God bless.